Hey everybody, Kyle Meinke here from MLive.com. I'm at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis where the Lions have just pulled off a crazy 22-16 win against the Vikings. I mean, it's, after 4 comebacks from this team this year, we really shouldn't be surprised by anything we see, and yet this comeback for me was something altogether different. It's one thing, I think, to come back when your offense is playing really well, as Matthew Stafford has at points this year. But the offense really wasn't playing very well, and then they get the ball. They're down a field goal with 23 seconds left, no timeouts, and all of a sudden Stafford hits Golden Tate for an 8-yard pass. He hits Andre Roberts 27 yards over the middle, spikes the ball. There's 2 seconds left, and Matt Prater knocks through that 58-yard field goal. It was really an incredible comeback, and then you go back into the overtime, you march down the Vikings' throats, and you hit the game winner without even giving them the ball in overtime. I mean, this was an incredible comeback for this team. And what I find very interesting about it is the pass to Roberts, which set up the game-tying field goal, was a play that they put in late in the week. Jim Bob Cooter had seen something on film that he thought he could exploit over the middle. He installed that play as a play where they could get basically 30 yards of chunk, as Stafford put it after the game, and they ran it at that time. They got what they needed in crunch time. With the margins for error there were so slim, and they were able to pull it out. It just, I think, speaks to what we've seen from this team all year, which is it's a flawed team. It's a team that finds itself behind a lot, but it's also a talented team, particularly on offense, and there are guys who step up every week, or most weeks rather, to help this team pull out games. And today it was Stafford in the end. It was Golden Tate with almost 60 yards of receiving in the fourth quarter and overtime combined, after really doing nothing in the third quarter. Really, no one did anything in the third quarter. There's one completed pass in the third quarter for -2 yards. I mean, this was a flawed. This is a flawed team. But when the offense was sputtering, it was the defense stepping up with some big plays. You think back to when they took over after the Stafford interception in the first half. They took over in their own red zone and forced a punt, not just a field goal, but forced a punt by driving back the Vikings 22 yards. Glover Quinn had a nice tackle for loss there. Kerry Hyder had 2 sacks, including 1 on that sequence to help force the punt. That's a huge sequence in a game so tight. Vikings missed plays. They missed a PAT. They had a field goal blocked by Tyron Walker, whereas the Lions made plays down the stretch. You had Prater with the 3 converted field goals. You had the defense stepping up, and in the end, you had the offense coming together with that 11-play drive in overtime, keeping the ball out of the Vikings' hands. This was a team win, and it's hallmarked by those fourth quarter dramatics, which have put the Lions in this position. And this position being a team that's now 5-4 heading into their bye. With the Packers' loss today, they are now in second place in the North, and they're only a half a game behind the Vikings. And they have this game in the bag in Minnesota, so they help with the tiebreakers and everything. The Vikings are sliding with a 3-game losing streak. And the 3 divisional games the Lions have left, they're all at home. I mean, this is stacking up very well for the Lions. They also hold tiebreakers against Washington, against St. Louis, against Philadelphia. This team goes into the bye, it's going to get healthy, and then it has a very good positioning in the NFC North playoff picture. Yes, the Lions, for as bad as they were, I remember when they're coming back from Chicago, back after that Week 4 loss against the Bears, they were hurting. Jim Caldwell was already facing questions about his job security. Now heading into Week 10, they have a bye, and they're sitting on these wins. They are in second place in the North. This has really been a remarkable turnaround from the team, and must be considered heading into the home stretch, a contender for a playoff berth in the NFC North. In Minneapolis for MLive, I am Kyle Meinke.